I'm Bree, and this is the Mercury Podcast. I believe that words are powerful and that they deeply affect the ways in which we process life. Words can change how we think and feel forever. Thank you for entering this space with me, where I use my words to reassemble perspectives, heal, inspire, and bring joy. Welcome back to another episode of the Mercury Podcast. I'm Bree, and thank you for inviting me once again into your space, wherever you may be right now. Another week we have made it through. I am sending waves of hugs over to you and your loved ones during such vacillating times. This morning, I woke up in a pool of tears as my body almost felt like an inflated balloon filling up with the events of 2020 all over the world on my social media timeline and conversation with friends and families. The news in countries of the world from those who have met and those have yet to meet. It just got me thinking about everyone's life, the lives that have gone before us, the lives I have around me, my life, and the life we are now living together as a collective in the midst of this pandemic. Just what it means to have a life. For us empaths, this is a norm for us. It's something we can't really turn off, but rather accept that we feel it. We can feel the energy of the world's pain and try to redirect that into something that will help us lessen the load. And that's what's brought me to today's new phrase. And it is, life is wide. Life is wide. Life is wide. Before I dive in, I want you to chew on this. So here's this week's bubblegum. The odds of you being born are nearly impossible. We've heard it before, but how impossible is it? In an article from Business Insider, they write about the odds of you being alive and how incredibly small the chances are that you were born at all. They cite Dr. Ali Benazir, and he illustrates the unlikely chain of events that would have to occur in order for you to be born. So let's just imagine. Close your eyes. Imagine there was one life preserver thrown somewhere in some ocean, any ocean in the world. And there is exactly one turtle in all of these oceans swimming underwater somewhere. The probability that you came about and exist today is the same as that turtle sticking its head out of the water in the middle of that life preserver in just one try. Now, to wrap your mind around that a little bit further, he illustrates that the path begins with the odds of your dad meeting your mom, and that is 1 in 20,000. This is then multiplied by the chances of them staying together long enough for them to have children, which is 1 in 2,000. And then the egg meeting the sperm to create you, 1 in 400 quadrillion. So in the end, he states that the possibility of you existing at all comes out to be 1/10 to the 2,685,000th power. Yes, you heard me. That's 10 with 2,685,000 zeros after it. The odds of you being alive today are basically zero. So if you've ever wondered, why am I here? What does my life even mean? It's just so outstanding that you've already beat the odds just by being alive, and you are a walking miracle. Life, by definition, is the period between birth and death, or the experience or state of being alive. If you know me, you know that birthdays are my favorite season because there's just an overflow of celebrating a human life. They are all year round, and any day to shower someone in love is a day well spent. It is for in this moment we pause and recognize that exact experience or state of being alive. Oftentimes, when faced with painful adversity, we immediately turn to the phrase, life is short, for comfort for any traumatic event that disrupts the day and shakes us up. Life is indeed numbered, and it's not forever. But the life that we are living is in fact extremely wide. Why wide instead of short, Brie? Hold that thought. Wide, by definition, is having a larger distance from one side to the other than is usual or expected, especially in comparison with the length of something, not narrow. As a side note to remember, short by definition is small in length, distance, or height. Wide is a word that represents broadness, extensiveness, spaciousness, openness, vastness, being full, ample, roomy, and generous, immense, wide-ranging, encyclopedic, expansive. I want us to sit on these words because that is what comes with every human life. Everyone that we've known or know now has been given a wide life, not a short one. As I said earlier, our days are numbered, and if you were granted to live a life until the age of 32 and someone else 15 or 8 or 98, keep in mind that it will always be a far-ranging full life. Nothing is in vain because you have defeated the odds. And in that person's life, they have impacted you and someone else's life with the amount of years that they did have. The angle I wanted to take this from is in regards to leaving a legacy. Because normally life is associated with that. We're born to do something and we want to die being remembered. Don't we all want to? We all want to be remembered for something. And for some of us, we want to be remembered by the world. And for others, just by one person is enough. Our reach will always be wide. And that can't be quantifiable by numbers. Because sometimes your impact may not always be recorded. And that's where the beauty is hidden. Here's what I mean by that. I attended a leadership dinner back in university, and it was a pretty small crowd of perhaps 50 people. There was a student doing a solo performance with an incredible voice. Just imagine Adele. That was the aura you got from her presence. I didn't know her, we had never met, but as she entered the stage, I decided to clap to welcome her on. Nobody told me to do it, but I did it because it felt right. One of those claps where you think everyone's going to do the same thing and then you just hear your own in the end. A mindless act of being myself turned out to be something about 3 months later when I did meet her through a mutual friend was something that she remembered. She said, "Yeah, you were the girl that clapped for me when I came on stage. I was extremely nervous and seeing you smile and cheer me on got me through the performance." I was shocked because to me, she was a natural. Okay, I thought she had done this 1,000 times before, but it meant a lot to her regardless if I'm physically here or not. That's something that she has with her forever. I reached her without even knowing, and I believe that we have these encounters with people every day, more than we think. You and your life is magical. And everything you do with a good heart and with pure intentions will allow you to move through the fullness of life. So don't get lost in the noise of what you see is influenced today. Hug your corner of the earth where you are super tight with the people that you are surrounded by And that will move more mountains than you will ever know. Take the pressure off of performance and focus on stretching your gifts with openness. Focus on the memories that you want to make, that you will enjoy and love remembering, instead of how you want to be remembered, because you will be. And if you're searching for the meaning of life, remember that your life is the answer. The fact that you are here, that you beat the odds. Your uniqueness should be celebrated because there is nobody like you. There is nobody exactly like you. So own everything that you are born with, and don't ever let anybody try to compress or squeeze that into the genericness of the world to fit in. Don't let your time and brain matter be occupied by the external forces that tend to bring negativity. I'd like for you to combat these thoughts with reflecting on memories that you want to create with the people you love, the strangers you encounter, and the dreams you want to see become a reality. The only validation is your own, because you were chosen a 1 in 400 quadrillion creation. So my stars, until next time, thank you for visiting my planet. I love you, I appreciate you, and I am so proud of you. Take care. Thank you so much for listening. And if you'd like to follow me in my own personal journey, let's take this party to Instagram at The Life of Bree, and that's BRE with 5 E's.